China gives unproven COVID-19 vaccines to thousands, with risks unknown.
Here's a summary of the article.
The wide use of vaccines also raises issues of consent, especially for employees of Chinese vaccine makers and state-owned companies who might feel pressure to roll up their sleeves. My worry for the employees of the companies is it may be difficult for them to refuse, said Dr. Kim Mulholland, a paediatrician at the Murdoch Children's Research Institute in Melbourne, Australia, who has been involved in the oversight of many vaccine trials, including those for a COVID-19 vaccine. Sinopharm, a Chinese state-owned company with a vaccine candidate in late-stage trials, has said hundreds of thousands of people have received its shots. Tao Lina, a vaccine expert in Shanghai, said part of the government's motivation was to test the public's willingness to take a vaccine, laying the groundwork for wider acceptance. The vaccine candidates in Phase 3 trials have been previously tested on smaller groups of people. The vaccine makers and local governments stress that participation is voluntary, and many people who take the vaccines pay a considerable amount to do so. Jerome Kim, head of the International Vaccine Institute, said he would like to know whether the Chinese authorities were following up on the vaccine recipients.
This post received a score of 6,700, with an upvote ratio of 92%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Playing mad scientists is how horror movies start.
This is definitely how zombie movies start.
Please don't give 2020 any more ideas.
Looks like October is gonna be spooky.
Oh fuck, I never even considered this. On Halloween there is also going to be a full moon, not just a full moon, but a rare blue moon. And it's also the first time a Halloween blue moon has appeared for all time zones in the US since 1944, according to Farmer's Almanac. Not gonna be a good night to be out if you're afraid of werewolves. For anyone curious, this just means that there will be 2 full moons in October. Since October is longer than a lunar month, it's possible for there to be 2 full moons. There's no other thing that makes it special, it will look just like any other full moon apart from the raining blood.
Had me in the first half there, was gonna mention the blood.
So it's basically a large-scale coerced drug trial?
I believe they had to pay money to enter the trials too. Equivalent of $148, not really a sum you can force onto the populace without them making up a stink.
So it's not coerced but demanded by the people. Wow, so authoritarian.
I used to love reading post-apocalyptic books. Living in the pre-apocalypse makes that so unappealing for me.
I cannot physically bring myself to read any of my favorite books. A Canticle for Lebowitz and the fact that humans are cyclical in nature rings too true right now.
You remember how in like the mid-1900s they made a lot of feel-good movies, novels in order to combat depression due to WW2, and just in general. That should come back. I can't deal with sad stories anymore.
I'm surprised no one has capitalized on this. Seriously, just watched Pokémon with my kid because it has no drama.
Schitt's Creek swept the Emmys. I recommend Peep Show on repeat.
Or as others call it, Phase 3 trial.
They have multiple Phase 3 trials running. The article is taking about vaccinations going on outside the trials. Unlike the Phase 3 trials, there's no placebo controls, and things are not set up to get rigorous scientific data. Giving unproven drug to thousands. So, a drug trial then.
Greater than the vaccine candidates in Phase 3 trials have been previously tested on smaller groups of people. Phase 3 involves administering a candidate and a placebo to hundreds more, to see whether they are safe to take and effective in stopping the coronavirus. Roughly 100,000 people are involved in those trials, based on Chinese company disclosures. Virtually all of them are in other countries, however, because the coronavirus has been largely tamed in China. It was already tested on a small scale.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.